topics, and when they see a connection between this topic and that, they write a note and they draw a line to break up the fragmentation. To keep it simpler, I designed another process just for you folks. I have taken a brown piece of paper outside there with all the speakers, and you will have some post-it notes, and that's the paper. We have a mini version of that outside, and those are all our speakers. I put numbers so you can use their name or numbers. I don't like to use numbers, but maybe for efficiency. And right here, and I have some copies of it, the speaker's reference, if he says something and maybe he says something, put their numbers or names, and you have space. The yellow is, do you have a powerful question for them that you want to continue the discussion? Did they give you some kind of breakthrough that you said, wow, I didn't think of that before, let's build on that? Or is there a connection between this and that? Because there's such a variety of people from different backgrounds, a very unique group here. What are the key connections where we strengthen one another? So this is for informal, you do it on your own. We'll have these out there. You can make some notes, and let's see if we can grow that page. You can put this note close to the speaker because you'll see all the speakers' names and their topics. Is that okay? And the idea is that this is not just an event, but this is an ongoing process, which is what you were asking for, right? And this is one way to continue. Okay. Now, some of you might have felt that, but I feel a tremendous urgency in what we're doing for a breakthrough because we're heading in the wrong direction. And this here is just coming out, the Club of Rome, and basically they say the plundered planet. It's as if we found Mother Nature's cookie jar and we can't take our hands out of it. We just keep gorging ourselves. And to put it in a perspective, how long could we as humans, if we did everything right, live on this planet? Ever wondered that question? What would you say?
A couple 100,000 years?
Yes, could be. Anybody else? It turns out that we know our sun is a third-generation star, very well behaved. It lasts about 10 billion years. It's 4.7 billion years old. Our Earth is 4.5. That doesn't mean that we could be here for another 5 billion years. No way. Because the sun gets 10% hotter every 1.1 billion years. The best estimates, and there are not many, that we could make it for the next 500 to 800 million years. Think of that. Are we using our resources well so that our great-great-grandchildren and their great-great-grandchildren have a chance? Right now, we're committing genocide, unfortunately, the way we're using Earth's resources. So put this in a perspective, and I bring this out because this is about time. If we don't see the context of the human spirit on this planet, we will blow the opportunity, unfortunately. And you probably know peak oil. This, if you don't know it, M. King Hoover talked about this in 1956 in Houston. And he basically says, we go up and then we hit the top and we go down. There's a big debate, have we hit the top? No, in the US, thanks to fracking and the spread of hydraulic fracturing, where we're basically putting water, sand, and chemicals to break up the undersoil. There's a renaissance in natural gas and oil in the US. It's only for a limited period of time, and it's spreading to Europe and elsewhere. Really ecological disaster. Leave the stuff in. But he basically said, and this is from a 1976 YouTube, he put his name in, he says, this Washington Monument-like spike is the most disturbing thing in human history. And we're about to head down. So, and Tim Jackson basically said in 2007, this is the average carbon usage per person in grams in the world. We need to go maybe towards 6. So we need a huge decarbonization of our world. We're hardly even starting that. We're trying to keep the old model going with solar and wind and so forth. But there's an enormous task. And therefore, we need a positive message that gets people excited that they can let go of the carbon and the consumptionism and find another spirit in life. And that's what I see in the work of yours. Much more there than maybe you even realize. Okay, so if we take a look at historically, we've been mostly hunters and gatherers for many thousands of years. The agriculture has been about 10,000, and we've been in about 300 years. Does this continue forever, or could we move in that direction? That's our challenge. Here we found things around us, in the fields and the forests. We found this in the earth. We found this under the earth. How could we find the resources for the next economy within us? My question. And therefore, what you're talking about is so precious in terms of the human spirit, the liveliness within us. And there is a major discontinuity. This is the first time we have to consciously set new foundations for our economy and our societies on a global scale. We can't just do it locally. So there's a big challenge there. Now, you've had people that have seen a hunk of granite and created a dot. So, was that Entropic? Perhaps. Then we had this situation in Vienna about 1898. This young lady at 24 years of age looks like spirited or a little less spirited. And her husband wanted to give her help. That was the time Freud was starting to get started, but he didn't go to Freud. He went to somebody else, Gustav Klimt. Any artists here know who Gustav Klimt is? Okay. And so what happened is he invited Gustav Klimt to come, and after a year, he painted her. Now, does she look like this or like that? In essence, they put that picture in the dining hall, and she grew into that. What is the picture that we have of the future that people want to grow into? Is that not retrocausality in some sense? Could we find that as breakthrough? That's my question. This is our challenge. Then, you probably know this. We used to do painting in 2 dimensions, right? And this amazing artist said, no, reality has 3 dimensions, right? A major shift. Are we not at this conference about as profound a shift as that? I really think we are. Interestingly enough, it's not just in space, it's in time. But time is much harder to get a hold of than space. So that's the paradigm shift. And here, basically, these 2 men helped us to re-understand the relationship of our planet and the rest of the universe, as you know. That's our challenge. When I was looking over the introductions, I said, wow, could we do that ourselves? So, could we get out of paradigm prison and word jail? That's the challenge. So these are the questions which I'd like you to do with yourself. What paradigm shift will be necessary for humans to live on this planet for the next 500 to 800 million years? And are some seeds of this possible paradigm shift with us today? Could you start out with your co-mentor and listen to his or her idea, and then present his or her idea to your group of 4? So you just go around. So take about 4 minutes. I know it's short, but I want to give you a chance to formulate the kind of paradigm shift you feel we need to be about. And to your co-mentor, and then he or she will explain it to the group. Okay, is that clear enough? So please find your partner and start to share your ideas. I know a lot of you have been working on this issue one way or another for a long, long time. So please, the floor is yours.
Me and you too, or
I think we've got the same number.
do you want to be my mentor? Okay. Mentor? You told me the paradigm shift. Shall I come there?